I shiny hunted for every Pokemon I packed in Pokemon TCG Pocket. That's right, I opened one pack of Shining Revelry and proceeded to shiny hunt the 5 Pokemon that I packed. The only catch here is I only get 1 hour to attempt each of these Pokemon. So let's find out, can I catch all 5? Will I catch more? Or will I bust? And with only 1 hour on the clock for each shiny, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet was the obvious choice here for shiny hunting, as making shiny sandwiches is by far the best method and quickest method for catching a shiny Pokemon. So after checking our supplies and making our way to this little island in the southern region of Paldea, we were almost ready to start our first shiny hunt, which is going to be Pawmo. Now, Pawmo can be found all over Paldea, but there's one spot in particular that we can get an isolated encounter for Pawmo, and all we have to do is climb a mountain. Yes, that mountain. So I started making my way to the top of the mountain and made one pit stop for a Gimmighoul coin that I didn't know existed. Super cool to see. But after scaling these cliffs, we have made our way to our Pawmo shiny hunting spot. We made a not so beautiful looking sandwich here and our time was ready to start. I'm a little bit late, but yes, our time has started. Let's see if we can find this shiny Pawmi or Pawmot. We're not looking for either of those Pokemon, we're looking for the middle evolution, Pawmo. Of course, if we find a Pawmi, I'm more than happy to evolve it. However, since Pawmo does spawn in the center of these groups of 5, I'm really hoping that we can find one in this hunt. And with Pawmo being such a bright, shiny, a bright pinkish color, I kind of just rolled around and looked at everything I could, though it didn't take long at all until this happened. And we have found a first Pawmi at the very least. We're gonna save, of course, but we have found a shiny Pawmi, and we are not that far in either. We are roughly 6 minutes in, so let's catch this one and keep on going. Critical capture, first shiny down. I would like to get a Pawmo, so I'm gonna go for the full hour, but if we can get another Pawmi too, that'd be nice. I know I didn't have that great of a reaction, but that's because with shiny sandwiches, you should expect to find at least one shiny. And man, I did not know how right I was. Of course, we continued through this sandwich, but I forget sometimes just how easy shiny hunting is in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and I definitely underestimated the isolated encounter method because not too long after the Pawmi, we found this. Oh, okay, there's a second Pawmi right there. We're gonna save again. So let's see the sparkles this time. I know I missed that on the recording. Terrible angle, but a second shiny Pawmi. And let's catch this guy. Another critical capture. That is 2 Pawmis down in just over 10 minutes. And even though I was more than content with 2 Pawmi, because like I said, I can just evolve it, it did not take much longer for me to run into what we were actually looking for. And we did find it. Oh my lord. I need to save. I need to no, come back. No, come back. King Gambit, come back. I almost just killed it. Okay, now we're gonna save. We did find the Pawmo. Only what, 20 minutes in on the dot, we found the Pawmo. And let's see those sparkles. Let's get a better angle this time. No angle whatsoever, but it did sparkle. We found 2 Pawmi and a Pawmo. No critical capture, but hopefully still an easy catch. Not an easy catch. And that is our 3rd shiny in 20 minutes, but it is our Pawmo down. I'm going to run through the rest of the sandwich, of course, and I'll show you if we get anything else. But I guess we're on to the next. Oh my goodness, we found a 2nd shiny Pawmo with not that long left. 4 minutes left on the clock. We're going to save here. 2 shiny Pawmo in 30 minutes is fantastic. Let's get this guy caught. Can we get a better visual, please? There we go. Shiny Pawmo. And a critical capture. We have caught 2 Pawmi and 2 Pawmo in just under 30 minutes on the clock. The answer was no, but catching 2 Pawmi and 2 Pawmo, which was our target by the way, means that we can quickly move on to the next one without even using our full hour, and I was okay with that. And our next target here is Tinkatink, who can only be found in very, very specific locations, usually next to ruins. So we set up our picnic just north of the town of Cortando and made an even worse sandwich than the last one, which I didn't think was possible. So once again we started our timer, and I was very, very confident. After just finding 4 shinies in under 30 minutes, I had a strong feeling that this was going to go pretty well. Oh, and we found it. No freaking way. I literally just told myself in my head that if I picked up that Gimmighoul coin, I would find it. And we have. I didn't even save. Oh, I need to catch this guy. I didn't save. But we found it. There's like no time left on this sandwich either. That was crazy. I was getting so annoyed at just watching that Gimmighoul jump around. So I picked it up and the Tinkatink was there. So let's catch this guy real quick. Shiny Tinkatink. Critical capture has been caught. and that was all within the first sandwich, so I will take it. Took us a little bit longer than the first one, but we did catch our shiny Tinkatink. Oh my goodness, he is massive as well. Look at him do his little yell, his little dance. I love it. And we have now caught shiny number 2. But we had to make our way across the map for the next shiny, and the first thing to spawn is exactly what we're looking for. We are searching for Tauros here. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen Paldean Tauros shiny, but there is not much of a difference, so I knew this was going to be a tough hunt. But we started our timer and started searching for our Paldean Tauros. And I definitely got way too lucky on the Palmo and the Tinkatink because I searched literally night and day for this shiny, getting baited at every single one I saw. But I also wasn't confident enough to throw a Pokeball at it because I didn't want to waste any time. However, after spending quite a bit of time here south of Levincia, I did decide to move locations for the second half of my time. So after making another seemingly delectable sandwich, we were now just north of the Asado Desert, again hunting for Paldean Tauros with 24 minutes remaining. And at the time, my hope was fleeting fast, but in hindsight, this was the best decision I could have made. I had no reaction there. I did not think we were actually going to find that. The head just looked so, like, very slightly off. But there it is, our shiny Paldean Tauros. We don't have it yet, but we did actually find it. Oh my goodness, I was not expecting to see that. I only threw that Pokeball because I had a small hunch. Let's see if we can catch it in one ball. Not a critical capture. It broke out. Okay, we're gonna have to catch it. All right, another Pokeball here. Can we catch the shiny Paldean Tauros? Not a critical. But he broke out again on the third spin. We're gonna try one last Pokeball here. Critical capture. And we have finally got the shiny Paldean Tauros. But we'll save right now. Let's save real fast. And let's show off this Tauros. That shiny is just so weird, and I wouldn't say it was worth the hunt, but we did catch it. Now, that last line might have been a bad omen, but it was most definitely foreshadowing as we went to our 4th out of 5 shinies, Magmar. Now, Magmar can be found in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet in the dome of the Blueberry Academy. So our fire-type shiny sandwich was made, and we went into the Torchlit Labyrinth to find both Magmar and Magby hanging around. Again, with the isolated encounter method, these were pretty much the only Pokemon we saw, with the occasional Torkoal, and I scoured these caves for quite a while. While in the caves, I remembered that Magmar and Magby can also spawn in the overworld on the Savannah biome, but it was just not as effective for seeing isolated encounters, so I went right back to the caves, which I sadly can't say went too well either. And with our final 20 seconds left, Scarlet and Violet was a bust, so the last shiny hunt and a half technically will all be on Pokemon Legends Arceus. Now, there technically wasn't a specific reason that I spent the second half of this run in Legends Arceus, however, I did know that our final Pokemon was going to be in PLA, so I decided to take a stab at Magmar as well. And I guess I thought my luck with moving locations while hunting for Tauros was going to be the same here. It was most definitely not. I went up and down and back and forth all across this volcano multiple times, resetting a Jubilife every time, and I didn't even get a glimpse of a shiny Magmar or Magby. After 10 minutes or so, I decided to try some mass outbreaks as well, but those were also unsuccessful. So I spent the remaining 15 minutes back on the volcano again, back and forth and up and down this volcano to try and find a shiny Magmar or Magby, but I guess today was just not my day. I think we're barely gonna have time to get to where we're going. Please fast travel. Can we get there? Is there gonna be a shiny here? We have 5 seconds, 4. That is it. That is time, and we did not get the shiny Magmar. So even with that failure, we still had one more Pokemon to shiny hunt for in Pokemon Legends Arceus. And as we start our timer, we have Mr. Mime taunting us over on the side. Let's get in there. Let's see if we can find the Mr. Mime. We have some mass outbreaks. Just need to see if they're the ones we're looking for. And after just 8 minutes, we actually did have a Mr. Mime or Mime Jr. mass outbreak. So we made our way there to see if we could find the shiny. But sadly, after clearing that outbreak, we never really saw another one. Now, I tried my best. I gave myself a challenge of 1 hour per Pokemon, which is definitely a lot for Scarlet and Violet. But for a game like Pokemon Legends Arceus, that's not quite the case. Again, I tried my best, but I realized very quickly that this was not going to happen within an hour, so I checked as many outbreaks as I could, I closed the game and reset as many times as I could, but sadly, PLA shiny hunting is just not quite the same as Scarlet and Violet, not in the sense that it's boring by any means, it's just a lot harder to do in such a small amount of time. And after just over 30 minutes of shiny hunting, I have had zero luck. I think Arceus is one of those games that is kind of impossible to shiny hunt in just 1 hour. So I think in future videos, I'm just going to exclude this from the list and I'm going to end this time early because I can't take any more of this. Either way, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is my first time trying this style of Pokemon content, and I definitely want to get more into it leading into Pokemon Legends ZA. So let me know if you want to see shiny hunts, if you want to see playthroughs, or more Pocket plus VGC type content. Either way, I appreciate you so much and I'll see you next time. Peace.